everybody. Welcome to another episode of the epic program known as Nick.
Welcome back, everybody.
Glad to see you. Today, we are going to do a very special Nick Knarf because it's a band that long ago and far away in a galaxy called the 60s had their short 3-year career composed of nothing but some of the great superstars of rock and roll. Nick is going to tell you a little bit about it.
Hey, we're doing Buffalo Springfield today, right? And what are the
two songs are On the Way Home and Pretty Girl Why off their final album, Last Time Around. It was the third of their only 3 albums that they produced. The first one was just called Buffalo Springfield. Second one was called Again, and this is the final one. In 1968, they formed in L.A. in 1966. And who was in this amazing band, Nick?
Amazing. Stephen Stills, obviously, on guitar. Neil Young, Richie Furay, Jim Messina from Loggins of Messina, Bruce Palmer on the bass, and Dewey Martin on the drums. Now, don't forget, Stephen Stills, of course, went on to form Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and then we had Neil Young eventually doing Crazy Horse, and he was also with Stephen Stills and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. And then Jim Messina, who formed Poco with Richie Furay, and then he went on to do Loggins of Messina. Love them. We've played them before. And here they are for their last album, 66 to 68. It's hard to believe. I was 14 when this album came out.
And each of the 3 albums is loaded with great, memorable songs. And what talent. And when this album came out, they were already in the process of forming their new act. Yeah. Stills was with Crosby and Nash, and Neil Young was gone. So, but what they left behind is a memorable 3-album legacy.
And Jim Messina was basically the producer of this album. So he was doing a lot of the production. And I'm sure it was so that he wouldn't get involved in some of the personalities. There were some heavy personalities. Stephen Stills and Neil Young were,
really,
had gotten into it quite a few different times. And then you have such talent with Richie Furay,
Souther Hillman Furay band that they formed with some of the guys from the Byrds,
Poco, I mean, just such.
And what we found out too when we were looking on Wikipedia, that Dewey Martin, kind of the one of the last guys who didn't form in with another group, he tried reviving using the name Buffalo Springfield, but he was sued by Steve Stills and Neil Young not to use the name, so that never got revived or continued because they put a kibosh on that.
But in Southern California, if you mention rock groups, you'd mention the Doors and others. Buffalo Springfield was going to be one of your top 5.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. There was a group called Love, if you haven't heard Love. Of
course.
Love was another great band that came out of Southern California.
The Seeds. I mean, so many bands. But anyway, we're going to get into the 2 great songs from this album. There's a lot of great songs on this album, but 2 we really picked. They're both favorites of ours. The first one is the first song on the album, which kind of sums up the message of the whole album title, Last Time Around. It's called On the Way Home. So let's get into it. Buffalo Springfield, On the Way Home. Here we go.
When the dream came, I held my breath with my eyes closed. I went insane like a smoke ring day when the wind blows. Now I won't be back till later on if I do come back at all. But you know me, and I miss you now.
I love this song.
In a strange game, I saw myself as you knew me. When the change came and you had a chance to see through me. Though the other side is just the same, you can't tell my dream is real. Because I love you. Can you see me now?
violins in there, huh?
Oh, we rush ahead to save our time. We are only what we feel. And I love you. Can you feel it now? Yes.
Short and sweet. Would have liked to have an outro guitar maybe by Stephen Stills there, but man, oh man, just so melodic, so fun, just
Harmonies, you can hear the great layering of stuff in there. And then, this is one of the unusual songs with a lot of orchestration in it. Most of the stuff doesn't have orchestration, although Neil Young brought to a lot of his songs a lot of effects and sounds and stuff like that. But that was the thing about Buffalo Springfield, all this creative energy from some of the most dynamic songwriters and performers. And you can see why maybe the shelf life of the Buffalo Springfield didn't have a lot of hopes with that kind of talent there,
Strong personality, strong musical abilities, a lot of creativity among them, and you can see why. And I think it was best for us because we got to hear so many different groups over time.
Absolutely. And that song was only 2 minutes and 33 seconds. We're talking about, this was, I think, one of their radio songs for AM radio. But
I wish I would have written it. That's
right. And I wish I would have written this very next one. This next one is one of our favorites too. It is a beautiful love song with a kind of a staccato beat to it. I mean, it's really a different kind of a song for Buffalo Springfield.
And who's singing the lead?
Steve Stills. Steve Stills singing the vocal for this one. Anyway, it's a beautiful song off of the same album here. Last Time Around, third song on the album. It's called Pretty Girl Why. Here we go.
Like the ghost of someone dear, she comes to haunt me in my sleep. Still unable to sincerely give her heart away for keeps. Pretty girl, why? Pretty girl, why not love me? Pretty girl, why? Pretty girl, why?
Nice here.
There she leaves me twice as lonely as I was but yesterday, keeping such a hold upon my thoughts, so near yet far away. Pretty girl, why? Pretty girl, why not love me? Pretty girl, why? Pretty girl, why?
This lead is lovely in here. Now the trademark sound.
The minstrel boy has gone to war now, burdened with his father's sword. Still she doesn't see how she can give him peace amidst the horde. Pretty girl, why? Pretty girl, why not love me? Pretty girl, why? Pretty girl, why?
So nice, so sweet. God, this whole album, I'd love to play the whole damn album for these guys. And there's songs in there that became other songs on other albums. Like Questions became, there's a song called Questions on this album, which became a Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young song that they use. And it's really weird how they kind of planted the seeds on some of those songs for some later albums that they grasped Neil Young and Steve Stills and brought them forward.
And that song is dedicated to all the guys who couldn't get the hot chicks.
That's right. This is our lost love song there about asking, and it's a beautiful way to send a message to whoever it was you were trying to chase, but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous
But it's
song.
tender. It's a tender song.
But that's the thing. Buffalo Springfield has this tasty way of mixing. I mean, those two different little guitars. First, there was the smoother guitar sound. Then that really unique reverb guitar that's in, for what it's worth, you know, like something happening in here. It's that same kind of guitar sound in this song in a love ballad.
Yep. And it's a transition from folk into rock. I mean, that's what's going on here in this, especially in the U.S., where you had a transition from all these different folk singers. I mean, Joni Mitchell, I mean, just on and on and on, but it became rock standard, you know? So this was the springboard for a lot of groups to start off, get creative, and we started seeing the great sounds coming out in the late 60s, early 70s. There you go.
That's right. Buffalo Springfield was definitely one of the pioneers of the country rock sound, and they really set the example for obviously the off bands that they created, but also for other great acts like America and a whole bunch of other country rock acts. But anyway, hey, if you like what you heard, please consider subscribing, liking, share with your friends. Leave us comments. What'd you think of Buffalo Springfield and these two songs you might not have heard or that were lesser known because they were always famous for What It's Worth and Bluebird and some of the other earlier songs. But it's beautiful, beautiful. And if you haven't checked out this album, check it out. It's really great.
Guys. It really is great. Until next time, you guys stay well, stay healthy, enjoy your summer, and come back and
we'll be back soon with more music because we care for your ears and we love you all. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Bye-bye.